Have you ever felt alone, as if no one cared about your pain? Have you looked around and thought that everyone is moving forward except you? Maybe you are tired, exhausted from fighting, waiting, believing. Maybe you're thinking about giving up. But before you decide, listen to this. You are not alone. We all go through difficult moments. The Holy Scripture is full of stories of people who faced immense pain, impossible challenges, and moments when everything seemed lost. But God never abandoned them. And He will not abandon you. Do you remember Job? He lost everything, his wealth, his family, his health. But what happened in the end? God restored everything to Job twice as much. Now I ask you, what if he had given up before his restoration? He reached the point of saying, "Cursed be the day of my birth." Job 3:1. Have you ever felt like that? As if your life was just an endless series of failures and suffering? How many times have you been just one step away from victory but gave up because you did not see immediate results? Many times the greatest test is not the difficulty itself, but God's silence. The waiting period can be agonizing. You pray, seek answers, but everything around you seems motionless. It feels like you are talking to a wall. But remember, even if God seems silent, He is working. Jesus spent 3 days in the tomb before the resurrection. It seemed like the end, but it was only the beginning of the greatest miracle in history. Maybe your life is in that waiting period. Maybe you are in the silent Saturday between the pain of the cross and the joy of resurrection. Here are 3 essential steps to keep your faith. When pain comes, when discouragement strikes, ask yourself, why did I start? What is my purpose? But Sunday is coming. Your miracle is on the way. Now the question is, what should you do while you wait? How do you keep going when everything inside you tells you to give up? Great men and women who changed history also faced moments of doubt. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison, but never gave up on his mission of freedom for his people. If he had given up in the 10th, 15th, or even the 26th year, history would be different. And you? What is the dream that God placed in your heart? If He gave you the vision, He will provide the resources to fulfill it. Peter walked on water as long as he kept his eyes on Jesus. But when he looked at the wind, he began to sink. Matthew 14:30. Are you focusing more on your problems or on God? Change your focus. Yes, the challenges are real, but your God is greater than any mountain you face. Most likely He was. But He did not wait for fear to disappear. He moved forward. If you are waiting to feel ready to move forward, stop right now. Take a step of faith, even if it is small. Many people we now see as successful almost gave up along the way. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper because he lacked creativity. If he had given up, we would not have Disney today. Oprah Winfrey was rejected and fired early in her career. Today, she is one of the most influential women in the world. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company, the Apple Company, before returning and revolutionizing the industry. I want to challenge you. For the next 7 days, every time you feel like giving up, read a verse from the Bible and write down at least one reason to keep going. If these people had not persisted, their story would have been just a footnote. Now I ask you, what about your story? Will you let fear and hardships bury your purpose? Or will you keep going and write a victorious ending? Choose verses like, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Jeremiah 29:11. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Isaiah 40:31. At the end of these 7 days, you will see how much stronger your faith has become. If you have made it this far, it is because God wanted you to hear this message. He is calling you to move forward. Perhaps you cannot yet see the light at the end of the tunnel, but that does not mean there is no way out. If Joseph had given up when he was sold as a slave, he would never have become the ruler of Egypt. If Moses had given up in the desert, he would never have freed Israel. If Jesus had given up in Gethsemane, we would never have received salvation. And what about you? Will you let this difficult moment define your story? Or will you trust that God still has a plan for you? Do not give up now. You may be just one step away from your greatest victory. May God bless you, and remember, Sunday always comes. And so, We reach the end of this journey, a path filled with emotions, discoveries, and moments that will remain in our memories. Every word spoken, every thought shared, every moment lived carried a spark of meaning, an echo of something greater than ourselves. In this farewell, there is no emptiness, but fulfillment. For every ending carries within it the promise of a new beginning. We take with us the memories, the lessons, and the deep feelings received along this path. And even though the words end here, their impact will never fade. May this final moment not be a goodbye, but a see you soon, a breath of hope spreading like leaves in the wind. May the journey continue, may dreams blossom, may smiles never be lacking. And above all, may each of us carry a piece of this moment with us, like a flame that never goes out. Because in the end, what truly matters is not just the words, but the emotions they awaken, the lives they touch, and the hearts they warm.